Oh, this is the pick.
Welcome to the show, you guys.
And we're going to be talking about NBA playoffs. Talked about the last round, who we thought was going to advance. Now we're talking about a couple recaps, a couple games, and who we think is going to win these series. We're going to start with tonight's game with the Raptors and
Philly
76ers. I actually have Toronto win this series, but this game, man, kind of changed my opinion just a tad. I'm not as confident as I was on that pick.
Yeah.
Philly, man, they looked really, really good this game, and the Toronto just kind of looked like they're so shell-shocked and kind of didn't know what hit them, really. If Embiid keeps on playing this dominant ball and Butler's playing really well and Simmons is stepping up, I can definitely see those 76ers winning this one. But right now, I'm going to stick with that Raptors pick, but I'm definitely not as confident. Leonard played well, but really no one else was doing much. Siakam playing well as well, kind of, but that's about it. No one else is really doing much in my eyes. On the other side, Philly, Embiid was playing like a monster, and Butler played really well, and Simmons played really well as well. So it's going to be hard, man, if those other role players for Raptors don't step up. It's going to be hard for Raptors winning this series.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I actually have Toronto winning this and moving on to the conference finals. But I don't know, man. I definitely think this series is gonna go to a game 7, and really, it's just gonna come down to really who has home field advantage. To be honest with you, which is I think it's Toronto. I think so.
They're a higher seed, I believe so.
Yeah, so they're gonna end up going back to Toronto. So I think Toronto could take it, but yeah, it's gonna go down to game 7. I think that's one of the biggest X factors is Embiid. The last game in this series that they to make it 1-1, Embiid didn't play well. He had like 12 points, and he just wasn't performing the way they need him to. And like I said, he's the X factor because Paul Gasol is not as young as he used to be. He's not as quick as he used to be, and Embiid is more of has the younger energy and has the more oomph in his game that he gets around him. So if Joel Embiid steadily plays well in this series, I think they could take it. But if he doesn't keep the pedal to the metal, then I think it's going to be definitely hard for him to win this series. But I think it's going to go down to game 7, and I think Toronto's going to win it at home.
All right, Milwaukee and the Boston will be the next game series we talk about. Been kind of a seesaw battle.
Could it be a sweep?
What?
I said, you think it could be a sweep?
No, because they're tied 1-1.
No.
So
Who?
The Boston and Milwaukee.
No, they're not. Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Boston. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Because Milwaukee won the second game.
That's right.
So Giannis played really well, and the role players for Bucks played really well in that game as well. So,
That's right.
and Boston really played well in that game. So, this is gonna be a really hard fought for the Celtics. But I do got the Celtics winning this series. I just think they're more experienced. I think they're a more rounded team. Now, I think Giannis is a better player than any of the Celtics, but I think really the number 2 for the Celtics is better than the number 2 for the Bucks in my eyes. And that's the thing about these series. Usually, unless you have an extremely special player like LeBron James or Michael Jordan, normally the most important person in the series is, of course, your number 1, but really your number 2 as well. So I think the Celtics have a better number 2, but I won't be shocked if the Bucks win, but I got the Celtics winning, and I'm fairly confident about that one.
Yeah, I got the Bucks winning this series, man. I think that Giannis is just going to keep dominating the series, and it's going to be tough for him. Both of the games, even the one they lost, Giannis was getting them in foul trouble. A lot of the players in foul trouble, and I was kind of hurting them. But that's what hurt them in that last game, though, is Giannis was playing well, but his teammates weren't. They just weren't shooting the ball well, and that's kind of thing is Giannis can't win his games by himself. He needs Lopez and Middleton and Bledsoe to play well, and they just didn't play well that game. But that's one thing that Giannis can do, man, is really frustrate your team and get them in foul trouble. And I think he's going to do that down the stretch and just get even more. That's the thing about this, man. It just seems like every game he gets more and more aggressive and more locked in these games. And I think he's going to just explode probably game 4. I think he's going to explode and have a ton of points. But yeah, I think this is another series that can easily go to a game 7 and come down to the last final game because they're going back and forth. They're one game, the first game, one team shows more grit, and the next game, the other team shows more grit. So I think it's gonna come to game 7, and whoever just wants it more than that. But I got Milwaukee moving on that in that series.
All right, Denver and the Trailblazers would be the next one we talk about. Both games have been kind of blowouts.
Yeah.
Denver beat on the Blazers in the first game,
Yeah.
and Portland definitely came back and beat on Nuggets in the second game. So I do got the Blazers winning this one. I'm not as confident as I was before the series started because I didn't have a ton of confidence in the Nuggets being able to hold up, but they've been playing really well. Especially Joker, he's been really amazing.
He's been
Jokic,
absolutely amazing.
he's been an absolute monster. And Lillard has been he slowed down just a tad, but he's still playing well. If he can, I definitely have a lot more confidence if Lillard is playing like he played last series against OKC. Yeah, I got Portland winning this one. I just think Lillard's an absolutely amazing player, and CJ and Cantor both playing really well as well. So, and again, Blazers have a lot of player experience as well. I do like their coach a lot. Has a ton of experience. He's a really good coach as well.
Yeah, I also got Portland moving on as well. I just like their chemistry with him, Lillard, and McCollum. I think McCollum for Blazers is going to be their X factor through the whole. If they move on to Denver and so on and so forth, he's going to be the X factor because Lillard, they know they got to try to stop him, so he's going to be the main. He's going to be the main source that they're going to try to stop. So McCollum is kind of that guy that has to step up and make up for those points that Lillard might not be able to get because he's getting double teamed or he's just really getting stuck in a corner and they got him stuck in that corner double teaming him or something because they're doing that a lot. So they know they gotta stop him. So McCollum has been scoring. He's been playing outstanding these playoffs against the OKC, tore us apart. And shots to Lillard on that last shot the game, what was it, 5 or whatever it was. That was an amazing shot to end the series. I have to give him credit for that. That was amazing. Even though I'm a Thunder fan, that stung. But that was amazing. That was an amazing shot by him. And yeah, like I said, that's going to be the key factor going on through the rest of these playoffs. As far as Portland, will take themselves, as McCollum has to kind of be that star in a way that Lillard's kind of got to kind of take his shadow and got to be that guy, and he has. He's been scoring at least 20 to 25 points a game, so that's what they need him to do, and that's what they're gonna. I think their game plan's got to be is work around McCollum and just let Lillard get the shots that he can get, not force anything or nothing. I think Cantor's another reason why they're playing really well. He's actually been playing some pretty solid defense. At times, he would knock the ball away and make really good defensive plays against Jokic. And if he can continue to step up his defense and continue to be the scoring big man that they need him to be, then yes, I think they can take this series. And this is another series that can go to easily a game 7. And yeah, and that's the other reason why I don't pick Denver is solely one of the big reasons is their inexperience. And they're injured. Was their point guard Murray? Mm-hmm. He kind of has a jacked up leg, so he's been hobbling around on that court. So he's not 100%. So they're kind of jacked up a little bit, and we got a little bit of the injury problems. And two, their inexperience on not being in the playoffs. I think if they have they move on to the conference finals and go see Golden State, it's just going to be a wreck. I think they're going to get destroyed, to be honest. So I think Portland have a better chance because, like he said, they're kind of have a little bit more playoff experience, and I think just Lillard could take them a little further than what Denver can. So, but yeah, I think it's going to be another really good series, though.
All right, the last series we're going to be talking about is the Golden State and Houston series.
This could be a sweep.
Beginning of the series, I thought this was going to go 7.
I don't know.
Not now, man. I got Golden State winning this one. I won't be shocked if it is a sweep or a gentleman sweep.
Yeah.
I think maybe 6 games, but I got Golden State winning this one.
Yeah.
Harden's hurt. Capello's really not playing well. Chris Paul's really not playing well. Really, no one's ever stepping up. And really, Damon's playing amazing.
He is.
KD's been amazing, of course. Curry's been played really well, even though he destroyed his
God.
finger. That was
That's
gross.
so gross, man.
Esto's been a pretty big impact, even
Clay
though
Thompson is kind of, you know him. He's in and out.
He's been hurt though, so
Yeah.
that's kind of the reason why he's.
Then he's more of a defensive
Yeah, that too.
player.
So yeah, man. No, I'm not gonna be like absolutely shut down that this might be serious and it might go 7 games, but Harden's gonna have to get a lot more healthy, and everyone else is gonna have to step up.
I agree. I absolutely
And
agree.
but I just don't see that happening. Harden probably can barely see out his eyes right now.
Yeah.
And Chris Paul, man, I don't know what's going on with him, but he's not stepping up like I figured he would, and they really needed him to so far. And Capella, man, especially Capella, he's really been just supporting me. He was pretty much a no man the first game. Second game, he played a bit better, but he still didn't play well enough to really fully notice how well he was playing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, is this Golden State, man? They have so many weapons, and if you're not playing well, they're gonna take advantage of that.
Yeah, it's just a simple thing when it comes to playing the Warriors is if one guy ain't playing well, there's 3 or 4 other guys that can. And when you got a Draymond Green stepping up and scoring points, getting about 13, 14 points a game, then it's really going to make it even more tougher because you still got to go guard him now. You still got to worry about guarding him. You can't just leave him open now. Because if he's catching this little scoring wind and he's contributing on that end, and if he's doing that, you literally have to worry about all 5 now. So that just makes it even more tough on teams. And yeah, that's what been honestly the most shocking thing about it, because I always thought Golden State was going to win this series. I kind of was like with Adam at the beginning of the stages. I thought maybe Rockets could take it to Game 7, but yeah, now with him, taking this rake to the eyes and Capella not playing as well, I think that's the biggest X factor is him not playing that well. Mm-hmm. They need him to step up because that's big. That's one of the biggest things that Golden State does in their offense is, of course, shoot a ton of threes like Golden State does, but also they incorporate that pick and roll with Harden and Capella, and they just either flick it up to Capella to dunk it, or Harden just takes it to the hole.
Capella only had 14 points. Chris
Yeah,
Paul had 18, and Eric Gordon had 15.
Yeah, and Eric Gordon's another guy that really needs to step up. That's why they brought him there, is to kind of be that second 3-point shooter, because Paul's more of a traditional point guard to where he passes, gets his points in the paint.
Sorry,
Go
people around. Capella had 4 points this first game.
That's terrible.
Tucker had no points. Chris Paul played okay, 17 points.
I don't
and
expect Tucker to score.
Eric Gordon had 27 points, so he played really well the second game. First game, was fairly close, but that second game was a blowout.
Yeah, they got to be on point. Paul needs to have. To me, Paul, it's got to be like this. Paul has to have at least 20 to 25. Harden, he needs to at least continue to get 30 and above. You need Capella to at least get 15, 16, maybe a little bit more. And, you need Eric Gordon to at least get 15. And that's, I think, another big problem with them is Eric Gordon has been just not shooting the way they need him to be. And that's why they brought him there, is to kind of be that second shooter along with Harden. Because, like I said, Chris Paul is more of a traditional point guard, pass, get my little points in the paint. And Eric Gordon's, that guy to swing out to and shoot threes, and he's just been not consistent at all. So yeah, man, if you're sitting there just shooting threes and not making them, then Golden State's on the other end making theirs. Yeah, it's just going to end up being a game you don't want to be a part of if you're on the other end of it. So yeah, man, if Golden State continues to just pile through and KD plays the way he does and Green steps up and starts scoring the way he does, it's going to be a tough series. I can see a sweep, or I can definitely for sure see a gentleman sweep. I actually think that's what's going to happen. Is I think Houston's going to get a game at home, but that's it. I think they're going to end up losing the rest of the way. And, I got Golden State moving on, and they're looking scary again.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say.
Yeah, that'll do it for me. Please comment, like, subscribe. Of course, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. See you on the next one.
Thanks for watching.